Hello trainees! In this session, we'll be learning how to make top stitched seams, corded seams and decorative seams. At the end of this session, you'll be able to explain the significance of seams as a decorative element of garments, describe the top stitched seams, corded seams and decorative seams, identify the function of various tools used for seaming, describe the steps to make a top stitched seam and corded seam, explain the supporting techniques for a good seam construction and recognize the guidelines for good seam construction.
The usage of fabrics is inseparable from our day-to-day life. Fabrics used by us serve three functions. They are protection, decoration and identification. Casual wear will look different from dresses worn for auspicious functions. Undoubtedly, the decorative aspect of a garment gives an individual touch to the person wearing the dress. The inclusion of appropriate decorative seams makes the garments more fashionable. The purpose of decorative seams is to enhance the aesthetic qualities of the garment. They also give the garment shape. Decorative seams like piped or corded seams are used in fabrics for home decor, pockets, collars and cuffs. Let's get an overview of the seam types. The first one is top stitch seam. Here, seams are top stitched from the right side with seam allowances caught into the stitching. Top stitching is to hold the seam allowances flat to add interest to plain fabric and to keep the underlayers flat and secure. The various types of top stitching seams are double top stitch seam, weld seam, tucked seam, slot seam and fagoted seam. The next one is corded seam or piped seam. It is a decorative seam very often used in necklines, collar edges, pocket edges, short sleeve edges and lapels of jackets. The cording or piping can be purchased ready-made in a variety of colors. The final one is decorative seams. These seams are made conspicuous to give a design or decoration to the garment, like piped seam, corded seam, flattened felt seam or top stitched seam. Now, let's look at the general tools used for seaming. A seam ripper removes the thread from a seam. Do not use seam ripper for any other purpose than what it is intended. Handle them with care to trim the unwanted short threads stitching the garment. Notches are used for placing positioning marks on cutting patterns and seam allowances. Seam gauge is 6 inches ruler with a sliding rod marker. It is used to mark seam margin lengths, buttons and buttonholes as well as design details such as pleats and tucks. Snipper is a small, lightly spring-loaded blades open automatically. Allows very rapid and easy snipping and trimming of waste thread or removal of tacking stitches and opening of seams. Let's see how to prepare different kinds of seam and seam finish. Ensure you have all the following tools, equipment and materials required to make seams. Single needle industrial lock stitch machine, hand needle, scale, shears, long cloth, cord, sewing thread and dressmaker's pin box. Mark and cut the pieces for different samples of seams from the given material. All pieces are of the size 25 by 10 cm except the piece for taped seam 20 by 20 cm. Refer to layout. Stitch the seams in the sequence as follows: top stitched seam, slot seam and corded seam. Here are the steps to make single top stitched seam. To make single top stitched seam, press and flat the seam allowance of plain seam to one side and press it. Turn the fabric to the right side and stitch seam line at a distance of 2 mm from the previous seam line over the seam allowance side and press it. Now let's see how to make a double top stitched seam. Form a plain seam and press the seam allowance open to both sides. Turn the fabric to the right side and stitch 2 seams parallel, each 3 mm away on either side of first seam, over the seam allowance. The next one is slot seam. Increase the stitch length of the sewing machine. Baste with machine on the seam line, leaving long threads at the end. Clip bobbin thread at every 5th stitch. Press the seam open. Cut the underlay piece of same or contrasting fabric of size 25 by 4 cm. Fold the underlay lengthwise and form a crease line. Under the seam line, match the crease line of underlay. Place it on the pressed open seam and twist it along the raw edge. Top stitch at a distance of 0.5 cm from the center on each side. Stitch from the right side of fabric. Pull out the basting threads. Press it. The final one is corded seam. Cut a bias strip 3 cm of width. Take the bias strip and fold it with wrong sides together. Place the cord at the folded side in between two layers of the strip. In place of the pressure foot, attach zipper foot or ordinary foot and stitch a seam line just near the cord. Take one piece of fabric, mark on the right side a seam line 1 cm from the edge, then place the above strip on the seam line having raw edge of the corded strip towards raw edge of the fabric. Place the stitches just to the left of the first stitch line. Take the other piece of fabric. Place seam allowances with right sides together and cording in between. Use the original line of stitching as a guide and stitch through all layers, crowding the stitches between cord and first stitch line. The last stitch line should be placed slightly closer to the cord, so no stitches will be visible on the right side. Now let's know about supporting seam techniques to ensure a better fit of seams. Trimming means cutting away some of the seam allowance. This is done to reduce bulk in order to get a better fit, for example, at the armhole, or to prepare the seam for further construction. Grading is a variation of trimming. It is done where bulky seams cannot be pressed open. The fabric layers of the seam allowances are trimmed to different width to avoid a thick ridge at the edge. The widest layer should set nearest the garment. This helps the seams to lie flat without causing a bulky ridge. Corners of enclosed seams must also be trimmed to reduce the bulk. First, trim seam allowance on point slightly away from the stitch line. Then trim the sides tapering to point. In seam allowances with inward curves and corners, notches help to remove bulk of fabric. In outward curves and corners, clipping the seam allowance allows the fabric spread out to lie flat. Let's see some guidelines for good seam construction. Use proper posture. Make sure your shears, needles and pins are sharp. Always choose the seam technique that will work best with your fabric and purpose. A larger seam allowance is best for loose weave fabrics and fabrics that fray easily. When stitching a seam together, the face of both fabric pieces should be touching. Pins should be placed horizontally along the seam before stitching. Selection of the needle type will depend on the characteristics of the material, the size of the sewing thread, the type of seam and the stitch type. Never sew over pins. It will damage the sewing machine. Finishing a seam is essential when using any fabric that frays. Securing the raw edges of a seam allowance with overlock machine is a very fast way of finishing. The seam should not bulge but taper gradually to point. Always use point presser in pressing equipment for pressing seams. This allows the stitches to blend and holds the fabric better.
We have reached the end of this session on how to make top stitched seams, corded seams and decorative seams. By now, you should be able to explain the significance of seams as a decorative element of garments, describe the top stitched seams, corded seams and decorative seams, identify the function of various tools used for seaming, describe the steps to make a top stitched seam and corded seam, explain the supporting techniques for a good seam construction, and recognize the guidelines for good seam construction.